Hi, everyone. This is a practice that will take you through the chakras and provide an integration of all that we've done through the chakras. We'll go to my mat. We're going to start seated. So join me on your mat. You don't need any props for this practice. Come into a seated position and just welcome yourself to your practice. My name's Lisa, and this is for the Sunrise Flow community to make up for the class that I missed when I was stuck trying to get home. So I hope that you'll use this practice and remember me this summer. But for now, we're just going to go through the chakras. So let out a big sigh. Welcome yourself to your practice. Let your hands come to your knees and sit up nice and tall, shoulders down. And extend your arms with the palms face up and rest the backs of the hands on the thighs. You can close your eyes if that feels helpful for arriving at your practice, for taking this time that you've set aside for your practice. You can also join your thumb and index finger together in Gyan Mudra, the knowledge seal, connecting to your inner guidance. And let's just take a few moments to arrive. Tune into the breath and let it breathe you, receiving the inhalation that expands you, stretches you, opens you. And then letting go of the exhalation when it's time to release. And feeling the wave of the breath and joining in with the wave of the breath. Noticing how the energy is flowing in the body, this practice, this time, this moment, whatever time of day it is for you. And feel the energy throughout the body. And as we move through the different chakras, chakra means wheel, and these are wheels of energy that are energetically located in the body. So you won't find an exact physical place for the chakra. We typically talk about them beginning at the tip of the tailbone, the base of the spine, the first chakra, but that also includes the legs, and that connects you to the earth, and it moves all the way up to the crown of the head that connects you with consciousness. So we go from very grounded to very expansive. You have an intention for this practice, you can affirm that for yourself. Maybe it's just to be open, to see what's here. And do take a moment to see what is here, what's present in the mind and the body as you begin this practice. We'll do a little warm up for all of the chakras. So just beginning by feeling the sitting bones connecting to the mat. And let's take the hands and place them on either side of us. Root your sitting bones down and imagine you could pull your sitting bones towards each other. So it's a little bit of a Kegel exercise, if you know what that is. And we call it Mula Bandh, or the root lock, in this practice, where you're lifting the muscles of the pelvic floor and strengthening the pelvic floor. So you might feel that, you might not. And in fact, you could even imagine your sitting bones coming together, lifting away from the earth and floating off the mat as if you could levitate. You probably won't be able to do that. And then feel this connection to the earth and imagine from your fingertips and your sitting bones a whole root system growing down into the core of the earth. And from the core of the earth, energy rebounds and comes back into the body, gives you strength, gives you support, and allows you to have a home base from which you can move in all directions. The first chakra, Muladhara, your root system. Now bring the hands to your knees, and let's just start to move the body around in Sufi grinds. We do these a lot in our practice. The inhalation takes you forward, the exhalation rounds you back, and we start to move into the navel center, below the navel, above the pubic bone. This is where the second chakra resides, and it's all of the flow. So the first chakra, we're rooted, the element associated with that is earth. Now we come into the element of water. And this is the flow of emotions, the flow of creativity, sensuality, pleasure center. So start to move around in here. We get kind of tight in the hips from our activity, but also if there's undigested or unprocessed emotion, you can feel a tightness in the hips. Reverse the circle. Just warming up through the chakras. Round and round. Let the inhalation take you forward and the exhalation draws you back. And then come to stillness and let that fluid movement kind of settle. From here, we move to the third chakra, the solar plexus. Put your hands on your ribs and imagine a fire in your belly and circle the rib cage. And you might almost immediately notice that this part of the body is much more rigid than the previous circles were. Right? This is our will and determination, the third chakra. Manipura, this is called. Manipura, it means city of jewels. Reverse the circle. The second chakra, I neglected to mention, is called Svadhisthana, one's own place. So we're just, these first three chakras, we ground ourselves, we get in our vehicle, our body, we flow, and then this chakra gives us the direction that we want to take, our will and determination. Pause here, just notice how that feels. Then let's move up to the heart. So reach your arms in front of you. The hands are an extension of the heart, right? But take this outward. We start to move from things that just have to do with ourselves to dealing with the world outside of us. And on your inhale, open your heart, bring your hands back behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And on your exhale, spread the space between the shoulder blades and bring the hands almost together. And just do that a few times. So starting to open the heart. Good. Open and close. Good. Open and close. And the next time you bring your hands open and interlace the fingers, open up the heart, shoulders away from the ears, clasp hands down, lift the heart. This means anahata is the heart chakra, unstruck or unhurt. We open the heart. We begin to open to that which is around us. And then move your attention up to the throat chakra and start to make circles with the head in either direction. Just make about 3 in each direction. The throat chakra, Vishuddha, means purification. It's all about communication with ourselves and with others. Other direction. Being able to speak your truth and be heard. Good. Pause here. Hands come to the knees. Let's inhale and just make a big HAA ha sound to start to move energy in the throat chakra. Ah. And we come up to the third eye point, and let's just bring the hands, making Anjali Mudra. Let's bring the thumbs to the third eye point and just circle the thumbs around here. A little massage to the third eye point. Anya, where we perceive and command. This is about consciousness, really. And our thought, right? Process, understanding, awareness. Pause here. Feel the energy at the third eye point. And then lift the hands and make a little diamond shape with your index finger and your thumb. Imagine that this shape is filled with white light, sparkling white light, and open your thumbs and let that white light just fall down over you. And think about the crown of the head, Sahasrara, which is a lotus. I want to say 1,000-petaled lotus. I hope I'm getting the number right. This is our collective consciousness and connection to the divine. So just let that white light float over you and then bring your hands down. From here, make your way to a tabletop position. And from the tip of the tailbone to the crown of the head, let's just move some energy. So come to a neutral spine first. Think about the tip of your tail. And then one long line from the tip of the tail to the base of the skull and all the way to the crown of the head. On your inhale, lift your heart. Reach your tailbone back, elbows a little soft, open the heart. And on the exhale, tilt the tailbone down and round the back body. Let the head just hang. Spread the space between the shoulder blades. And start to move into a cat-cow at your pace. So moving the energy from the root chakra up to the crown chakra. You might notice there's a place where you feel a little stuck, where it doesn't feel so good. Just notice that. Bring your attention there. See if you can allow energy to flow there a little more. And from this flexion and extension, Start to change that and circle the hips around. Again, these are all about little circles of energy through the body. 3 times in one direction with the hips and 3 times in the other. Good. And then come to the center and let's try to get the rib cage to roll again like we did before. Making circles with the ribs as if you were inside of a barrel, trying to trace the inside of the barrel with your ribs, and then the other direction. From here, tuck the toes under. Feel yourself connected to the earth. So everything that grounds us has to do with Muladhara, the root chakra. Lift the hips, come to downward facing dog. Notice that you can be rooted and lifted at the same time, and pedal your feet, and then take little steps with the feet up to the hands. Lift your heart and then fold forward. Feet are, I don't know, about hip width distance apart, outer edges of the feet parallel to one another. Root down and rise up, reach the arms up, and bring the hands into the heart. Pause here. Feel your roots. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. So sensing into the legs. So really strengthening our connection to the earth, the root chakra. Lift up halfway. Fold forward. We're going to come right back up to standing. Root the feet down, reach the arms up. Hands to the heart. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Press your feet into the mat. Sweep the arms up and overhead. Hands come in. 1 more time. So focusing on these roots, on the strength and the flexibility in the legs, all that grounds you, all that allows you to feel at home in your physical body. Fold forward. Press the feet into the mat. Reach the arms up and overhead. Hands come to the heart. We're going to start to move our attention into the hips. Reach the arms up. Fold forward. Lift up halfway. Fold again. Take your right foot back. Big giant lunge back. Lower the right knee. And just sink down into a lunge. So we start to get into this place in the body where we soften the hips a little bit. So it may not feel very fluid, but think about fluidity here. Maybe just with the breath. Plant your hands, lift the back knee, front foot meets the back. We come to plank. You can always bring knees down. Let's actually bring the knees down in this first round. Lower the heart. Roll the shoulders onto the back. Lift your heart. Come back to tabletop. Tuck the toes. Come back to downward facing dog. It hangs here. From here, now the right foot comes forward and the left knee comes down. So just stretching into the hip on the other side. Inhale and exhale. Sometimes simpler is better, not adding a lot of extra movement. Pull the belly to the spine, maybe to lengthen the low back and let the pelvis come forward. And then lift the back knee and now let the back foot come in to meet the front, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway and exhale, fold. Press your feet into the mat, sweep the arms up and over your head. Hands come to the heart. You might notice you're getting a little warm. That's fine. Reach the arms up. Fold forward. Lift the heart. Fold forward. Plant the hands and walk your feet back to a plank. And now let's think about the third chakra, our strength and determination. Imagine you could pull the heels of the hands towards the toes. Heart comes forward and feel the belly engage while you continue to allow the breath to flow. Nice. And then shift the weight to your left hand and your left foot. Reach the right arm up. Side plank. Your feet can be stacked or mine are one in front of the other. Come back down. Feel the strength in the center. Shift to the other side. Reach the arm up. Come back down. From here, you can keep the knees up or you can bring them down. Lower to the mat. Find your heart opener. Cobra or maybe upward facing dog. And then back to downward facing dog. Stretch the arms, feel grounded, feel some movement in the hips of energy, then feel the strength in your belly. Walk the feet to the hands. You could also hop them to the hands. Lift up halfway. Fold, press your feet into the mat, sweep the arms up and over your head. Hands come to the heart. Reach the arms up and overhead. Fold forward. Let the head drop. Inhale, think about the heart and pull it forward. And then fold, plant your hands, walk the feet back to your plank. You can always hop and soften your elbows. Lower all the way to the mat and come to Sphinx. Forearms on the mat, lift your heart. Imagine pulling the elbows towards the hips, broaden the heart, pull the shoulder blades towards each other. Anahata, the heart chakra, unstrap or unhurt. Look right in front of your mat. Give this 3 more breaths. Beautiful. Lower down to the mat. Hands come under. Press back up and come to downward facing dog. Okay. Look between the hands and walk the feet to the hands. Lift up halfway. Fold here. Press your feet into the mat. Sweep the arms up and over your head. Hands come into the heart. So we're going to move up to the throat chakra. But before we do that, let's just make sure we get a few warriors in this practice. Step wide on your mat. Bring your right toes to the right and sink down, warrior 2, just to open the hips. Now imagine bringing that energy that you've started to wake up in the lower body all the way up, and then lower the back arm, reach the front arm over your head, and back to warrior 2, just letting the body move a little more. Lengthen both legs, reach forward, Utthita Trikonasana. Everyone loves a triangle pose. All of the chakras involved in everything, but we just are bringing our attention to each of them. You can look down, you can look up, come all the way back up, turn the toes in, circle the hips in one direction, and then the other. Spin your toes to the left, come to your warrior 2. Open across the heart, feel the energy, just these simple movements, just this attention to the moment. What is it doing for you? Back arm comes down, front arm reaches up and overhead. Back to the center. Lengthen the front leg, lift the ribs, lean forward, Utthita Trikonasana. Open up the heart, and the arm is lifting up. It's not behind you. It's right over the ear, really. Imagine pulling the heels together, gathering that strength from the earth. Come back to the center. Bring your toes in, heel toe the feet together. Hands to the heart. Come to the top of your mat again. Reach the arms up and overhead. Fold forward. Let the head drop. Reach the hands behind. So now coming into the 5th chakra, shoulders and neck. Open up the heart. Elbows a little soft. The weight comes towards the balls of the feet. Nod the head. Slide it side to side. Let's heel toe the feet a little bit further apart. Bend your right knee. Open your heart towards the left. Come back to the center. Bend your left knee. Open your heart to the right. Good. Come back to the center. Hands down. Walk your feet back. Pause here. Let's come to dolphin. Come to the forearms. So now we're getting into these upper chakras, right? The shoulders, you might feel a little more pressure at the 3rd eye point, and the crown of the head is almost touching the mat. So these are where we start to interact with the outside world, using our voice, thinking and perceiving and commanding, right? And then this collective consciousness, this connection to all things, to the divine, however you want to feel it, think about it. Take 3 breaths. And then walk your feet back. Come to a forearm plank. Imagine the energy at the tip of the tailbone swirling up the spine to the base of the skull and through the crown of the head. And then come back to Sphinx. Let's open the heart again. Oh, you can never open the heart too much. Good. From here, flip over onto your back. So just turn yourself over onto your back to come into the higher chakras. We're going to come to shoulder stand, or I'm going to offer shoulder stand. Let's just bring the knees in, move the hips away, shoulders away, pull the knees in and out a little bit. Let's just make sure we're ready. You should be nice and warm for this, and I'll give you some options. Feet come to the mat. If you don't want to come to full shoulder stand, you can bring your hands underneath your sacral area or a block underneath your sacral area. I don't have any props since I said we don't need them for this practice. Pull your feet off the mat and lift your toes. This is more of a restoring inversion where some pressure and flow comes towards the upper body, right? Instead of things flowing with the feet on the floor, now the feet are above the heart. So you could stay here. This could be very nice. You could also come over to a wall and walk your feet up the wall. This is just a closet, so I'm not going to do that. And lift your hips and place your feet on the wall. That's kind of an in-between restored shoulder stand and full shoulder stand. If you want to come to full shoulder stand, make sure there's space under your neck. Pull your knees in, hands to your hips. Walk your hands in and your elbows in. Do not look at the computer now. Look just at your thighs or your toes. Chin comes right into the notch between your collarbones. And there's still space underneath the back of the neck. If the back of the neck is pressing into the mat, come out and do restoring shoulder stand. Give this a few breaths. And you feel this is really good for the throat and the shoulders, and you feel pressure at the third eye point, everything moving up. If you would like to, keep your hips over your shoulders, lower your toes down. You can come to Halasana, but you can always stay up. Just give it about 3 more breaths. You can always pause this video and stay as long as you like, really. And then to come down, you will draw the toes towards the floor over your head. Roll yourself down. If your toes touch, you can make a runway with your arms and roll down. Otherwise, use your hands on your back. And then let's all hug the knees in. Back of the neck is long, shoulders press into the mat. Take just a few more breaths. And hands to the knees. Let's do a little Apanasana. Knees away, knees come in. Knees away, knees come in, knees away, knees come in. Good, so we've kind of reintegrated movement on the spine. Arms come out from your shoulders and you can just sway the knees a little bit. We don't want to do a lot of big movement on the back after doing shoulder stand, but we can sway the knees a little bit. Good. And then bring the soles of the feet together, reach the arms over your head. And again, just noticing how the energy, you might imagine the energy just spiraling from the lower body up to the upper body. Lift your heart off the mat. And just notice how you feel. So very simple practice. You can feel free to stay and do more if you'd like to. Otherwise, give this about 3 more breaths. This is really a practice you can do any time of day. It's not long. You can just fit it in when you need to. Kind of move the energy throughout the body. Let your hands come to your thighs and bring your feet onto the mat. Find happy baby. Flex the feet. Reach to the outer edges of the feet. Knees drop into the armpits. You can be still or you can move around. And then let's do a little bit of tantra, maybe just hitting the floor and then just be still. For this practice, because we're moving through the chakras, I'm going to have us end in a meditation. So to deal with the higher chakras. So just give this on your back. Let's give this 6 breaths, inhaling and exhaling. When you feel like you have your 6 breaths, bend your knees, roll over to one side, and press yourself up. So coming up, come to a seated position, any seated position. So we began seated, we're going to finish seated. And let's just take a few moments quietly in this practice, extending the arms, joining the thumb and index finger together, Gyan Mudra, shoulders down. And there really is no way to do meditation wrong. We're just going to ask ourselves for the next few moments to pay attention on purpose to whatever is here. If distractions come to you, just notice them and let them go. And here we'll just relax. This will be a way to restore and breathe. And in a few moments, you'll hear my voice. Begin to deepen and lengthen the breath. Expand your attention to include all that is around you. Wiggle your fingers, let your head drop side to side, roll your shoulders. Any movement that you want to do is fine. And then bring the hands together at the heart and let's rub the palms across your head. Letting out a few sighs, opening up that 5th chakra. Maybe you roar. Hands to the heart. Bringing the attention to the tip of the tailbone, Muladhara, your root system, and then to the navel center, the flow of creativity and emotion, to the rib cage, your will and determination, to the loving and compassionate heart, to the shoulders and throat and speaking your truth and listening, to the thinking mind, and then the connection, thinking mind at the third eye point, and the connection to all, everything at the crown of the head. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing this practice. Namaste. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.